say the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin, what here, as say no word, say, Supreme Court, asem no kaye no. Enya de say obeti ase. Na simple what simple krana obeti ase after the election. Say January mu ene ni obesa arekọ MPC na ababa bedin komo. Say asem we say eba no akwa tensions no aba high pa because kamia kwa say Speaker of Parliament bu Supreme Court emra eso anase ruling no wo buso because Supreme Court to me ababa clear say interpretation of the constitution idea no enye Parliament on speaker and on obetime decide the name no Supreme Court na ade no so say Supreme Court to me a rule say MPP for enko omo nkoso anya majority na NDC anya minority na say no enam say sa conflict na by court nsensem no ama no ma a delay sabre no NDC for kire say ade say Speaker of Parliament eto omunsa e de frɛ wo mu pa na so mu beba pa de na ankomu ye krokro de dwom John Dramani Mahama akabi esi edunkatia so abekabi na even the speaker and your speaker even your friend is saying minority leader one also ababa can be say enya de say omobeba.
And this is going to my colleagues in NDC. Look at the shutdown they are doing in Parliament today. The Speaker of Parliament has taken Parliament as his personal property. As and when it pleases him, he opens Parliament. Even when there's an issue that he could sit with us, he says no. Look at the recent case. They themselves created this impasse. We, as law-abiding citizens, took the matter to court. The court ruled in our favor. They contested the case and lost. I was expecting Mr. Speaker to immediately open Parliament as a Democrat to say that government business must go on. I waited upon him. He did not. When I finally wrote to him to open Parliament for us to do government business, look at his response. He's not ready.
And I say so MPP for no to me actual memo. E dey akwa to your friend is saying speaker office. Na speaker kiremu a emra na omu kire memo no e dey by on the 21st of November no. Sabre no obi invite na okwa na invitation bi ni ade. Enu 22nd na nsaka ya. Speaker of Parliament ono so a reply. Na no reply na or reply no or kire say ade no ya cancel enya ade say MPP for press anka onsan fra Parliament no ade say obetumi afre. Now what the reasons ababa betudwa ye baba be boawrem ena biemu no so no Clement Akolo, yes, Clement Akolo wono ena communications leader at Parliamentary Network Africa wono so the assembly ababa betudwa achesa asem na ye daisi Oliver Becker wono so ababonten ababa beka assembly say ade say Parliament and as a Speaker of Parliament there were also to me because on to me and rejected MPP for Ememona. Ninyina no. Asem na anodin. Aha aya Wise TV mesro ya no subscribe no turn on the notification bell. Udia no like video no share video no ede amaye na o comment no dia to comment section no ase na ye di enkomo ede efri honum. So as far as said this Parliament breaking yi another suspension yi indefinite one you know concern ne de yentumi nyi on the 17th of October 2024 infirmuda because en ko fa asem ne bae chese speaker ejinai declare some seats be 4 seats be vacant na eno maye hu video sa issue we say no so we pay full videos na na se videos ni nyina ahwa ko description box no major links no de agum said ya be video we na meye no obeti aseye pa because am kasa mesa reversity ni bibra wan hwa ebetumi a delay. So in conclusion na MPP any NDC kon ewo who to become the minority and who to become majority na eno ena I think say on the 23rd of October MPP for anko Parliament House because say NDC for no ekoji omu a seat F5 as majority. Na no na Afenyo Markins ede asem no kodan e court kan say adia na Alban Bagbin e declare say 4 seat vacant no. Enya ono Alban Bagbin no the right so to me e declare those seats no vacant for now because anko omo ntwan mpo na nke yentu abaninwie ansana Parliament House no se be reseti a reseti. Na sasem we say e course no. Ade say on the 7th of November. Nasta asem no court. Afenyo Markins a woye majority leader no e de asem no akodan court a yenka asem no enwiye. Now on the 7th of November 2024, ena MPP fue esa try letter e de kodan speaker say speaker yes serewo. Sa frɛ Parliament House na yemra mesia. Na speaker esa frɛ Parliament House. NDC fo no kontem. Omo sa call no mo kotra majority place honom. Baby a awosenka MPP fo ne kotena no. Omo ekotena honom. Na eno na sa asem ninti no. MPP fo nso anko Parliament House. Na enam se MPP anko Parliament House ninti no Speaker of Parliament esa suspended Parliament for the second time. Na enwachi no na Supreme Court enso rulings no eba ye say ye cannot interpretation of the law enye Speaker of Parliament nemum Supreme Court and to be interpret law no ye because Ghana for the 2 million ashe almost them. Na bra Supreme Court etna asasem we say so no votes no ekwa awie anaso mu kan wie ye no na MPP for enya 5 votes a support say de Speaker of Parliament ye no enamra kwan mu ena NDC for no so enya 2 votes eno nso che de abamba benye ye nenam kwan mu pa enu tine kika bo mu no eja 5 against 2 de na che 5 no winner enu tino automatically no MPP for no ebe retain omu majority na NDC for a retain omu minority. Yanka hunu se asem we say ekoso no delay emre na nka osenka Parliament etumi edihia. Ete say example na mede ma wo se de be ya obeti asiye ye bobo na ball no player bi epra anase all of a sudden bibi etumi esi ewo pitch no so na delay omu time ubo won se ye bobo no ewie bia after 90 minutes no referee to me the extra time wa nanim etoso sana say issue no akwaye enu no on the 21st of November 2024 and MPP for a letter to come Abamba Ben say I was say 28th and 29th of November omutumi tena se eye ne eni nyame adoma wo chena also omutumi tena se na enkomo bi ho pa no mama akoma ko 22 and also omudi ho nkomo enu ntino also omu Speaker of Parliament efre NDC for no na MPP for dey say akoto dia momu no omu so aye ready say no omu beba ko your friends Parliament House na omu ababa be di enoma no ho enkomo na no ena yade say ebra MPP for ekrata no eba abonten no NDC for no so etre krata memu de common speaker say speaker ade na MPP for no mempene wate because awo pena yensu ebedwa pa na before no kra na NDC for abonte abeka say speaker for omo madada I just said Dondraman Mahama ono so akambi ena asiedu enketia ono so akambi achese asam ne de NDC for no mo bo ma dwene po na sasam we say ekoduru Speaker of Parliament na kache no on the 21st ena MPP for actually this memo e de command na speaker chiremu a ebre akrata no eba wono no nsem no na eyade se watu kwan anase akọ na invitation binti we nya krata no at the right time into on the 22nd and a speaker enso etwe letter anase we say ode kan letter no emu na speaker kan letter no ewie ya wono so ede reply aba say reply no na akọ ya asema ye busa se speaker ebu Supreme Court animutia ananso say the speaker no ne kwan so ano no eno ho asem wo ho ma sheda de ate mekani nyina ede akere because ensem wo sa ensem we mu papa it is speaker release wono so ne reply I think on the 26th of November 2024 kire say ade na MPP for akere no say ye hwehwe mu a nyansa bi anim because more kase yenhia mu on the 28th of November 2024 and in November 29th 2024 2 days pe. Now 2 days no so more MPP for more kire say ye wo no mama akomako 22 sa no mama akomako 22 e beda ne di ho nkomo because mo amonimu say sabre no eye campaign time e de ma political parties a was obia ekon constituent na chese ana constituency na okokoye campaign na chese omutumi ko kire de omaye e de ama amanma no ene de nti a wose amanma no eto e de ma wo mu enu nti ne so baba be frɛ ye frɛ ne say parliament house na nkrofo agya say dwumadie no e ya de se enya no kwan so ena biem no so kra no ensem a MPP fo e de betu dwa na enhyeda enya ensem a efa amanma no ho bebre ana se beboa aman no bebre ana enya government chese adwuma bi a government adwuma bi a ehu hia bebre enti na omo frɛ na no omo frɛ for frɛ sake na chese in conclusion the speaker of parliament edi wie ne krata ne se we decline MPP for emamu no ana omo request na omo request ye no fine na no na ebinum eka se ade ye speaker of parliament ye no ade se wabu supreme court animtia pa na wode mra no akekere ahye ne botomu a enya no kwan no na eno na ba ya abeye deja sese enkyeremu no ababeye bebre na nsam we say eho na Clement Aklo a wono na ye communications leader edema parliamentary network Africa wone GH1 etumi edidi enkomo a wotumi akyere pa se ade na akwakoba no akwakotia mienu de edikan ne se ade se sabre no said the NDC for can say ill time then there no pa na MPP for nso kro mu duo mu bubi because asem no kokko to nyina near omu to MPP for if say ade se omumfa another alternative eso nanka omumfa enya some businesses bi a parliament house honum enya se bi omo boycott parliament sa eno no enye na no ho susanso na ababa beduru sabre no Ochem se drew abatuo biana on the 15th of November ne de nka technically no or senka parliament etumi ebreki nanka eja MPs no etumi ekomo constituency honum no mkoye campaign ene ade ekire manma no nia omo aye bunkunta ade kire omu se de ekosoe no na enso no ena mo se asemu ananka o senka omo hwe eka ekoye court konebra akodi abandonment no wo se omutumi etranse because say ye can be bit say budget no anka omu reading this time around na anka ebetumi aboa oman ne pa because ye ka say ye twen e de akwa next year mu a ebia na abato ekra who knows na asa ko run off anase bibi ababa be twemu na a delay a ebetumi aha oman no na eno ena bra mete asemo kan na me bisa se na se sa na tie dia why say speaker of parliament kire say ensem a MPP for the buy no ade se benefit the people of Ghana achese ne ensem kan ye nko tibi na yemra.
Now majority has petitioned the speaker. The minority says it is ill-timed, looking at the number of days we have to the elections. Also, they failed to meet the threshold in Article 112 clause 3. From where you sit, is it indeed ill-timed?
All right, thank you very much. Yes, we think that it's ill-timed because under normal circumstances, by this time, Parliament is supposed to be on recess. They actually scheduled to be on recess from 15th of November. So technically speaking, at this time, they're supposed to be on recess. But we all know what happened, what has occasioned this particular situation as we speak. So even though it's ill-timed, we also thought that there will be we'll find some reason to come back to Parliament because there is something very urgent and very important for us to do with regards to the budget for next year, which is a source of worry for us if we are unable to do that. But strictly speaking, is ill time. This particular time is the time that members of parliament are trying to get the attention of their constituents. They are trying to seek a re-election, and it's really ill-timed. And even if they succeed in coming to parliament, we are not sure that all the businesses that have been listed to be transacted, they will even have the presence of mind to be able to transact them on the floor of parliament as we are seeking to do. So our hope is that, what the NDC caucus leader is saying, maybe we could consider immediately after elections, then members of parliament can be recalled and come and do the business before they finally rise on the 6th of January 2025.
Now, you mentioned the number of things tabled for which the majority is triggering a recall. For example, the budget. Can't this budget, for instance, be looked at when the new parliament reconvenes in 2025? Since it is a budget for 2025.
Yes, we are looking, because the constitution makes it mandatory, or looks forward to the next, the next parliament. You know that when a new parliament is reconvened on the 7th, they do not have the power immediately to transact business until they have elected a speaker and all that. So during that time, what will government be doing? There will not be any vote on account for the new government to use. So it will make sense for this particular parliament to pass that budget before we get into next year. Otherwise, we may have challenges going forward. What if we have an election that drags for beyond the period that we are looking at? So it means that we may have challenges running the government in 2025. So it's rather prudent that they do it before we get into 2025.
Should Parliament then consider this particular on the table and say, well, if you are in the constituencies, maybe we could resort to the use of internet. That is, if they have stable internet, like we did during COVID.
They say extraordinary situations call for extraordinary things to be done. But I'm not too sure what you are calling for could be the best solution, because we know that the internet is not friendly to all of us as we speak. The internet in Ghana is not very friendly at this time. And especially when you go to the hinterlands where most of these MPs are, they may not get access to internet. And that will mean that we will be shortchanging some members of parliament who may want to be part of the decision-making process. And let's also note that there is a required number for a quorum for doing business, and a required number for taking decisions. At this time, when we are not too sure about the internet, and then we are not too sure about the attention span of our members of parliament, do we want to put them through this, and at the end of it all, we may not get the best of decisions being taken during this particular time?
Now, Mr. Kola, let me take you back a little. Would you then say that the fate of this current parliament, the impasse we're experiencing, can be blamed on the majority because they triggered recall twice and they failed to show up?
Yes, I think we can squarely put that particular blame on them. And I think that this process have not been managed very well. We have not managed this particular process very well. So the majority or the NPP caucus have themselves to blame for this particular stalemate that we are having. Because it was clear that, because right from the word go, we said that these particular court issues were not going to be enough to solve the stalemate that we're having in the country. So we were proposing some alternative dispute resolution mechanisms to actually deal with the situation whilst we're still at the court or something like that. I was trying to seek interpretation of the article. And it appears that that advice was not kindly taken. And at this time, I think we have some very difficult situations to deal with at this time. So we cannot take the blame away from the NPP caucus or the majority caucus as we speak.
It's way any asamoah Eya Clement akolo wode etu dwa onso betumi e de comment ato comment section no asene din komo e de efri honum. Eye Oliver Becker Vomawo ono so ebe kan bi se ade ya speaker eye de enye na won hu no adekodie nti potempanti a was a speaker etumi etwe MPP for ano ede wo from even 2 days kura no mu kwa akohia nyana na o kire mu sese wokọ na wokọ ready eye Ghana mamra yen constitution yim eye article 112 section 3 na eka asem na honoma na mbowura honoma asamo eka ne say 15% of members of parliament may request a meeting of parliament and the speaker shall within 7 days after the receipt of the request summon parliament. Enti asamo eye Ghana amamra constitution no article 112 eka eno no eno ti no e wo say technically cause nka omu break die cause technically said them chile mu no cause nka parliament e break na omkoyo mu campaign ne ade I no so no constitution no efo aso but enam say emra toto a eye omu expend e wo court na ma speaker of parliament etumi e suspend parliament ninti no akọ bibi se enkrofo kase e wo se speaker etumi etie die Supreme Court and I said the MPP for ken na go tumi efra for these 2 days na sasem we say ebaye no na eye MPP majority leader eye Afenyo Markins ode asem no asakọ akoda ne court na sese ni yenim ensam a ebefiri mu aba.
Look at the response of the NDC. They wrote a counter petition saying that Mr. Speaker should not open parliament.
The flag bearer too.
The flag bearer of NDC also said the same thing. So what are they doing? To hold government hostage. The one district, one factory program that we needed to approve the tax exemption. It was aimed at helping these companies make savings, use the savings to create employment, use the savings to expand their businesses. What is the NDC saying? They don't want it. Meaning, more of the youth who are on the street looking for jobs will not get opportunity to get jobs.
Na yenim de se no be free maba. E ya de se Supreme Court am ye dikiante as say president and vice e bu no ruling so kra na ye betumi agyina so atu president na de so and vice na de so. Na ye wi a obesa akọ prison. Na de eye speaker eye no se wan hwe ya obetumi akomu be mfie du say bia otietia Supreme Court ruling so. But here is the case say Supreme Court Speaker of Parliament entietia Supreme Court emraso in a way no because technically no on the 15th was say omutumi e breaki but another way no so no ade say MPP for no enimra no ananso say ade ya asem we say no aye deja at the end of the day say Supreme Court ruling no ka say Bagbin aye mistake dia na chese ni bi asem abeba no ano beden but whatever the case is no days ahead and a ebekere de be free maba obetumi e do comment ato comment section no ase na ye di enkomo e de efiri honum makao.